Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Alright guys, hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Make sure you tap and share, send and heart me, all that fun stuff, okay? And I'll bring up that guest in just a second. Hang tight. Hey, how you doing?
Hello,
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 18,
Alright, what year were you born?
2007.
Cool. Alright, what's on your mind?
So I'm not MAGA, nor do I hate the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
Um, Honestly, I just wanted to say that I know a lot of people come up on these and use Christianity as their defense for hating these things. But
Mm-hmm.
as a Christian myself, with a girlfriend who I love very much, I don't think you're a true Christian if you project hate.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. Yeah, I think they use it as an excuse to hate. Um, when I would appreciate it ever so slightly more if they were just like upfront about their hatred and didn't use Christian. I
Exactly.
mean, it would still be shitty, but like at least they would be more upfront about it.
And
But
I think, as someone who loves the word of like Jesus Christ, he wants us to love each other. We're not supposed to be going out and telling people why we hate them.
oh, I agree. No, I 100% agree. I think if somebody has an issue with the LGBT plus community, they're going to find any reason to make that so, whether it's going to be
They just
religion or
tend to
anything.
use their Christianity a lot, and I hate it because you're supposed to be, following God's word of
For
love.
sure. Yeah, yeah. I agree. Well, listen, hey, I am just looking for oppositional people to debate with.
Yeah, sorry, I
No,
saw
you're
your
okay.
thing.
You're good. You're good. I appreciate your
Have a
input.
good
Okay.
day.
Yeah, yeah. Take care. All right. A peace deal with Iran. I think we had a pretty good deal years ago. So, I don't. That's like starting a fire and then putting it back out and trying to congratulate the person for putting out the fire that they started. Like, what do you think? God? Well, I don't believe in God, Denise. So it's like it would be a false premise to me to begin with. I don't believe in God, so everything that you say after that really doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Hey Denise, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
I'm great. What's on your mind today?
Good, good. No, I just that's my belief. I'm not gonna force it on you, of course. But I just thought I'd put my 2 cents in there.
So you're saying God created people to procreate. So if a man and a woman are dating, there's a lot of feedback, by the way. Are you
Oh,
like on
is there?
Bluetooth? Yeah. Are you like on headphones
Is
or
that better?
Bluetooth? Echo.
No.
Hold on.
Is it better
Um,
now?
Echo. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Echo?
All right. Yeah, yeah, we're good. We're
Okay.
good. So,
Yeah.
so if a man and a woman are dating and they don't procreate with each other, would that be also wrong?
Well, procreation is meant for a marriage.
Okay. So, but I'm asking because you said you think being gay is wrong. It sounds like because they can't procreate with each other. So would it be just as wrong if a man and woman are dating or say married and they don't procreate?
No.
Okay. So what would be the difference between that?
Well, okay. 2 guys can't make a child. Two
Okay.
women can't make a child.
Okay.
And I may be wrong for stating my opinion, but that's my belief.
But why is that wrong though? I'm asking.
Well, it, why is it wrong if they don't
Yeah, yeah, because
procreate?
there's plenty of straight people who just don't
Sure,
procreate. So like I'm just
sure.
asking, what's the inherent difference between the two? Why is one wrong but not the other?
Oh, okay. That's a pretty loaded question.
I mean,
Um,
I think it's a fair question to ask in this scenario.
no, you're treating me fair. Um, to me, it's very important to be married and then have children and so forth and so on. Um,
Hey guys, keep tapping. We can get to a new one at 10,000 likes. Okay, so if you guys want a new one, tap a bit quicker. But why though? Why is that like the goal or the end result of what marriage is?
Well, it's in the Bible
So so
that we
I
should.
so
I'm sorry. Go
so
ahead.
but then I ask again: if a man and woman were married and they didn't procreate, either out of choice or because they couldn't, would that be wrong?
Well, fairly, I'd say no, it's not wrong because you can adopt, but you can't have a
But
biological child.
right. So yeah. So if a man and woman are married and they don't procreate, they can adopt, just as two gay people or two lesbians can adopt.
Yeah, they can.
Okay. So but it sounds like you're saying one is wrong, but not the other.
Um, well, I mean, to be honest, yes, one is right as it can be. One is wrong as it can be.
But and guys, remember 10,000 likes we can get to new guests. So to get the likes up, you tap the screen, double tap. Okay. But I don't
You
think
want
you're.
me out of here, don't you?
No, I just I try to get to new guests, and we got to get the likes up anyways. But anyhow,
I hear you.
I don't think you're quite explaining though why one is wrong but not the other.
Well, the best way I know to explain it is a couple, a male couple, cannot procreate with each other
Mm-hmm.
to make a child that is part of him and part of the other guy.
Sure, and but I'm asking why is that wrong?
Well, once again, I refer to the Bible.
But do you? But but
I'm confusing.
no.
I'm really
I just
messing with you.
but you're not explaining why if a man and a woman were married and they didn't procreate, why that would not be wrong. It sounds like in one situation it's wrong because they can't procreate, but in another it's not.
Well, I'll just say it the easiest way I can think of, which is hard for me right now. Um, like I said, a man shouldn't lay with a man, and a woman shouldn't lay with a woman. That's in the Bible. Um, they,
Where in the Bible does it say that specifically?
I'd have to go get my Bible.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me. Um, if you want to wait 10 seconds, I can go do it.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. And yeah, go ahead and do that. Hey guys, keep tapping and sharing. If you guys could send the heart me there at the top left next to my name, that'd be terrific. If you're joining live, click the red follow button. And remember, guys, at 10,000 likes, we can get to a new guest. Just keep tapping and sharing. Okay. Thanks, Jax.
Okay. Get my Bible. This weather we're having is not helping my aching bones.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's been storming all week, but that's okay. I like storms. Okay, hold on, just a second. What, darling? What do you want? What do you want? Oh, it's either in Leviticus or Deuteronomy.
Okay. But where does Jesus specifically say it? Because Jesus never specifically says that homosexuality is wrong. Now, people can interpret, certain things as such if they want, but it's never specifically said. All right, the background noise is starting to get a little loud, though.
That's my grandson.
Yeah, no, I figured. Well, hey, listen, the background noise is a lot. Let me see if I can get to the next guest a little bit early before the 10,000 likes. But Denise, I do appreciate the conversation, though. Okay.
You bet. Take
All
care.
right. Oh boy. Eric, I'll just bring you up in a minute. Just hang tight. She's been up. She watches my lives quite a bit. Actually, she's like a regular watcher, as far as I know. All right, let's bring up Eric right here. All right, guys, keep tapping and sharing. Let's try to bring up some ops if we can. Hey, Erica, how are you?
I'm good. I love it when people follow Levitical law, but only when it comes to gay people. Like they're still eating pork,
Yeah,
you
they're still
know.
doing a lot of
And,
things that, yeah. But then they'll
and
pick and choose and say, well, the Old Testament doesn't matter. It's just like whatever fits their argument works.
correct. Have you got a fan or something on, or is your aircon on really high?
What's that? You hear the air?
It sounds sort of windy.
Um, no, not any different than normal. You guys hear a lot of
Okay.
air, a lot of wind or something? I hope not. All right. Anyways, all right. So if anybody disagrees with the background, hit the request button at the bottom of the screen, meaning if you voted for Trump, if you disagree with the context of the background, etc., etc., etc. She has supersonic hearing. Well, that could be it. Those
It's
those
well, can
those
you hear me?
those Brits in their hearing.
I've got ears like a bat. Can you hear my dog panting?
Ever so slightly, yeah.
Yeah. I've just got home, so he's like, "Mum's home. I'm excited."
It's funny. How old is he again?
10.
Getting it up there, huh? How have you had him
Yeah,
all 10 years? How long have you had him? I forget.
no, I adopted him when he was 3.5. He's a rescue.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Zell? Is that it?
Yeah, that
Zeal?
works.
All right. Hey, I just need to know your age real quick. How old are you?
I'm 31.
All right, sir. What's on your mind?
Yeah. I mean, I have an indifference to the LGBTQIA plus, but hate is a strong word. I wouldn't say hate.
Okay.
Um,
So what's your views?
I think my biggest stop would be how much of me do I need to change for you to validate your identity? It's
Okay.
always been a big thing for me.
Sure. What do you mean by that? Can you give like a specific example?
I mean, I know people have certain pronouns like, they, them, these, or whatever it is and stuff like that.
Okay.
But like if I, not bad faith, call you the wrong one and you haven't introduced that to me and stuff like that, and I am demonized because of it, because I made an assumption, I'm deemed villainous.
Yeah.
If it was not brought to me and I didn't ask and things like that. And
Okay.
it's like, that's not something I see in like the cis community where I'm so worried about my identity. I need to make sure that everybody knows my identity and more approve my identity than telling people.
So okay. So a few things. Number one, when you're talking to somebody one-on-one, you're never really going to be using those types of pronouns because you just say you or their name, right? Like you never are going to say he, she, they, them in a first-person conversation, right? Now, if you're in a group of people, then that's when it's going to be applicable. Now, I've almost never seen any person get angry at somebody for genuinely using the wrong pronouns. It's only when like somebody like purposely does it, and it's very easy to tell when somebody is purposely doing it. But if someone's like genuine and they made a mistake and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and you can see that like they're just trying to put the effort in to correct themselves, I've never really seen anybody get angry about that. But I don't really think that's like a big thing, like a big hoop that you need to jump through, just to like use maybe a different pronoun than you're used to in very specific contexts. You know.
Yeah, this would be anecdotal and not stat-based, so you can feel free to take it with a huge grain of salt. Because I feel like, the stat-based doesn't really further discussions like this. But like anecdotally, I mean, obviously, I know people who are trans and the people I know, like no, I mean, they're great people. That's fine. But like, yeah, it's usually in like a group setting or something like that, where I'll get flack for it. But that's not my character.
I've misgendered trans people a couple of times completely by mistake, and they've never been angry at me. They've always just said, actually, I go by these pronouns. If I then continued to do it, they would probably get annoyed. But that's like,
Sure.
my name's Erica, and if someone calls me Erika, and then I correct them and say, no, actually it's Erica, and then they continue to call me Erika, even though I've corrected them, I too would become annoyed.
I feel that's justified.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel that's justified. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really see that being a big issue. And again, like trans people represent like about 1% of the population, give or take. So I don't think this is going to be like I don't ever run into this in like quote unquote real life. Like I just don't. I couldn't maybe one or two times that it's happened, but outside of being on TikTok, I don't. It just never comes up, at least for me. And yes, that is anecdotal, but my point is that it's very, very uncommon that you're going to be in situations like this. It's not like it's a daily or a multi-daily thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the majority, but like it's experiences I've had, and I feel like under the same vein for the same people that got upset about that, it's almost like being part of the LGBTQIA plus does not absolve your character. So
No,
like
sure.
that's not.
Nobody said it does. If you're a shitty person, you're a shitty person. It doesn't matter what social group you belong to, you're a shitty person. Nobody's
100%.
saying that. But what tends to happen, particularly with trans people, but actually through the entire LGBTQIA plus community, is whereas with the straight cis community, if someone's a shitty person, everyone just goes, you're a shitty person, and addresses that individual. When we talk about the LGBTQIA plus community, we speak to people all the time who are like, well, this person, this one shitty individual represents their entire community. Nobody does that about straight cis people. Nobody is like, well, Andrew Tate is a shitty person, so all straight cis men, all straight cis people are shitty. We don't do that. Buzz agrees.
Hey guys,
I mean,
20,000 likes. 20,000 likes we can get to new guests. Good, so.
Yeah, I would say that's probably not done a lot in person, but that is done on social platforms a lot. I mean, it's all men is a real thing, and it's all men is going to be,
Well,
I mean,
well,
I don't disagree with that either. I just want to preface that.
okay.
But like that would be, an essential targeting of cis men. Hey, one of you are, obviously not one, but like that is a thing. So like I feel like that retort might be disingenuous in the way you tried to explain it.
Well, no, it's not disingenuous because there's a difference in those two things, right? And I'll explain the difference to you. The difference is that that in life, women don't know who the shitty men are because invariably the shitty men will present themselves to you in the first instance as good men. And you get to know them thinking that they are good men because otherwise you wouldn't bother to get to know them in the first place. And then it turns out that after misrepresenting themselves for a period of time, suddenly they become shitty. So what people are saying when they say it's all men is we don't know who it is who is the shitty person until we get to know them. We don't know walking down a street which man it is that's gonna like attack somebody. We have no clue, so we have to be vigilant all the time. The difference is when people say, well, this trans person's shitty, so all trans people must be shitty. That person isn't harming anybody by saying things that upset you on the internet. They're just saying things that you don't like or upsetting you. They're not physically likely to hurt you on the street, which is what people mean when they say it's all men.
I think we have to hold that to a certain regard where I can agree that you don't know a man until you know one, you know what I mean? And even then, you could still be incorrect. But approaching people of different sex, XCPS, or delineations, or whatever it is, and stuff like that, and thinking that, hey, they're a shitty person because of an experience I had, and waiting until you know them to take that apart, I feel like that should be scalable. So if that's a mindset that somebody has based on anecdotal experiences, that seems fair based on your definition, doesn't it?
It's not anecdotal experience, it's statistical. It's statistical data. Like we know that and I'll repeat this, we know that the majority of men are not attacking women, but we also know So if I'm walking down, I'm going to take my dog for a walk. It is 10:20 p.m. here. I will actively avoid men that I see even when I'm with my dog at night when it's dark, because I don't know what their intentions are. It's not that I necessarily think that that guy is shitty. It's the fact that I don't know whether he is or not. And there is a huge difference in what we're talking about here, because statistically, I'm far more likely to get attacked by a cis man by many, many, many times than I am by a trans person.
I mean,
Keep tapping and sharing, guys. Keep tapping and sharing, guys. Go ahead, man.
You could hold the same regard. Like, I know that a majority of trans women aren't going to cause any issues in women's spaces, but there is a portion that do, a very small portion for sure. But I feel like holding the same regard would only be fair to that explanation.
Well, I mean, like, so what is it you're trying to get at? Because sure, as Erica said, anybody can be shitty, right? But like, are you trying to limit trans people in certain spaces because of what those couple do, or like, what is it like you're trying to get at?
No, I was using the definition of all men against what people might have against like the LGBTQI plus community, which is no, a majority of trans women aren't going to cause an issue in a woman's space for sure.
Trans women aren't men; they're women.
No, I'm not saying they were. No. This is.
I heard what you said. I got what you said. I get it. Yeah. So I guess I'm confused as to what the overall issue is. And guys, keep tapping and sharing. We can get to a new guest at 20,000 likes. So, is it something that you're trying to argue that you like in regards to trans people, like that they shouldn't be in certain spaces, or?
No, I was saying the caution that women have against men, that by definition from Erica, that it would be fair to have that definition against trans women in women's spaces.
Well, but again,
for a similar reason.
But again, the difference is that we don't see like the common notion in regard that we hear from opposition here that trans women they can do something to somebody in the restroom that's inappropriate, right? Like that's what we often hear. But statistically, we just don't see that happening at all to any degree that would be worth stressing over. So, in the sense of it's all men, obviously we see a statistical difference there in terms of like men committing some of these harmful things. And again, it's not saying that all men are going to be harmful or anything like that, but again, it's safe to err on that side until you get to know somebody. But that would be the case with any human being, right? I think people at first want to build trust with whoever they meet, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the way to go forward and both of these things would just be caution. Like, no, a majority of trans women are going to be causing issues in women's spaces, but they have the capability to.
Hang on, don't women have the capability? Don't cis women have the capability of causing issues in women's spaces also?
Yeah, but I'm talking more about the stock parts.
The stock parts
down there. You're talking about down there.
Yeah.
But
so that's what I mean. Capability. I don't mean probability. Capability.
What does having that mean? Like, what is it you're trying to?
So when it comes to when it comes to like essay, right? It's done by men using a certain tool, right?
Like fingers.
Well,
sure, but that's not usually what it
is. I hear what I get what you're saying, but the difference is we don't see that with trans women, though. We don't see, like, if we're comparing cis men to trans women, right? And trans women are typically born as male, so but we don't see the harm equated like we see cis men doing these at a much higher rates, and we just don't see that with trans women. That's the difference.
Yeah, I think in terms of I don't know if I can say this on live, and if it's wrong, please drop me. I'm not trying to upset anyone. I think in terms of violence, like it's going to be men first and foremost for sure. But I mean, I would even equate like an emotional thing where it's like anxiety or feeling unsafe or something like that. If somebody comes into like a woman's space and stuff like that and has the unfortunately, a tool that has been used in history for as long as we know and write about and stuff like that comes in with that and stuff like that is going to harm a woman's mental health if they're not.
How do I know if that person has that thing? How do I know?
Oh no, you can pass by unnoticed for sure, but that's kind of like that's like a passing privilege. thing, and that's not fair to
No,
talk
no,
about.
I'm asking
You know
you.
what I mean?
I'm asking you how I would know, because there have been that recently there have been a whole ton of cases of like more masculine looking cis women being thrown out of women's bathrooms because they look more masculine and people think they might be men, and they're not. They're cis women who look more masculine. They were born female. So when you say that, what you're doing is you're then making the case of, well, anyone who looks a bit masculine and who you suspect might have a, I don't know what you called it, a tool,
I was
then
really TikTok friendly. Might not be the right word.
no. But what I'm saying is, what you're then saying is anybody you suspect who might be might potentially possess, and you're also making it the case, if you want people to use like sex specific toilets rather than gender specific toilets, you're then also saying that trans men should be going into the female toilet. Many of them do have that tool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Subject. I'm gonna get to you in subject. I'm gonna get to you in just 1 minute. Hang tight. At 20,000 likes, we'll get to you. All right. So just hang tight for a quick second. Yeah. So go ahead and respond to that, man.
no, I want to make that case about trans men, for sure. But what I would say is, I think the introduction of trans women going into the women's restroom has harmed women as a whole. For the fact that if you're a woman, you look more masculine now, because this is more of a
When
common theme that they're
when
going
was
to.
that introduction?
You talk about like the exponential growth or like its inception.
No, I'm talking about when was that you're saying because of the introduction of trans women into women's spaces. When was that introduction?
The mass introduction was around, was it 2009? Was the exponential growth according to like stats? Or was it 2011? It's one of those.
What?
Just like when if you like you look up like when trans people identified as trans, there was a growth from about 22,000.
Yeah, it became more accepting. Yeah, sure, it became more accepting at that point.
Right, but like
people are
that
a little more
also
open.
could be,
All right. Well, all right, man. Well, listen, we
Yeah.
did hit 20,000, so I do got to get to the next guest. But
No, do your thing. I sent you a
yeah.
follow. Actually, a good
Okay.
conversation. I appreciate both
All right.
times.
Take care, okay? Yeah, appreciate the conversation. All right, guys, keep tapping, sharing if you're joining live. Click the red follow button on the top left. If you guys can send in the heart me as well, that'd be great. Subjected, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Great. I just need to know your age, please. How old are you?
Yeah, 19.
All right, what's going on?
I'm not pro MAGA. But I do have an opposition to like the idea of like transgender ideology and such.
All right, what do you believe the ideology is?
I think that when it comes to transgenders, it's a pretty new phenomenon. I'd say like 1920s to 1930s. And I think that it's a problem of like basically breaking down gender roles. Which is not like anyone's fault. I don't think it's like the liberals or anything like that. But it seems like it's a result of like liberalism and capitalism that genders breaks down into these kind of categories, and there's less of these roles, and it just becomes more convoluted, and that's why I think it emerged in the 1920s and 30s. And I think it's harmful to people who are transgender as well. I think it's just a harmful thing.
Okay, so explain the harm. All right, so like I don't believe it's an ideology, so I don't like that. I don't understand. We're just talking about like sort of like basic science over here. But what's the harm in these gender roles evolving over time or changing over time?
So I think the harm is generally mental distress. I know multiple transgender people. I mean, like, it seems to be a very like mentally stressful thing to have to go through.
Well,
And it does not.
they get treated very negatively in society. I mean, I mean that would make
But
sense.
even so, it's the internal perception of gender, right? Like it's some people who will never even be able to pass, and it seems like those people have to suffer through this through their whole life. I don't think it's a good thing that, I mean, gender dysphoria does not seem like it's a good, like, positive thing to.
Well,
it seems like it's entirely negative.
Hang
I would
on.
rather.
What are you suggesting then? Because what you're currently saying is that you know trans people and you know that gender dysphoria has a negative effect on their mental health. What's your suggestion for that?
I would say right now the whole thing is I would support transition, but I don't think that I think that there should be an orientation towards trying to find ulterior solutions to mitigate the amount of people that will have gender dysphoria, because even with transition there is a high what is it what would I say
Self-unaliving, you're
instead
about to
of
say, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
lower, but it's much lower though
It
after
is much
you.
lower, and that is true. But a lot of the strife is itself internal.
Oh, but
And it, yeah.
yeah, Chris, I'll let you go in just 2 seconds. But based on like the research and science that we have, the best solution that we have is gender affirming care currently, right? Now, if there was something else that would lower the rates of self-unaliving and depression and things like that, then people would be all for it. But like right now, this is what we have, and I think if you view it as nobody wants to have dysphoria in general, whether it's in relation to gender or not, right? Like that's not a good thing to have, and we want to alleviate that. Go ahead, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Hanging in there.
So, subjected. First of all, are you under the impression that all trans people have dysphoria?
Yes.
You would be incorrect.
I'm whatever you call like the true scum or whatever. I would follow that.
Excuse me?
I would follow like the true scum thing, like transmedicalism.
Okay, so you can call yourself a trans medicalist, but just because you call yourself a trans, so are you a trans person?
No.
Okay, cool. So first of all, that would be incorrect. Not all trans people have dysphoria. Additionally, some people have dysphoria that are not trans.
Sure.
Also, the goal is not passing for everyone. That is not always the goal.
I mean, I just feel like what's the goal then?
You can
I mean,
have
it's literally
feelings
to
all you want,
transition
but
into something.
that you can have feelings all you want, but that doesn't make it reality. Do you know what % of trans people transition?
I'm not sure on that statistic.
And by transition, I assume as you are a trans medicalist, you would be referring to medical transition. So I'm going to treat it
I
as
would refer
such.
to like HRT and so whatever. Yeah, that I would say is like
Excuse
medical.
me?
I would
Well,
say like
HRT
HRT.
could include everything from a name change to a haircut. So
No,
do you
HRT
mean,
is literally it's hormone replacement therapy.
I understand that. Well, that's excuse me, gender affirming care would be what I was referring to. So I'm trying to slow things down because these conversations tend to speed up really quickly, very fast. So HRT is hormone replacement therapy. So you aren't referring to surgeries, you are just referring to hormones. So if somebody has surgeries, but for whatever reason does not get hormones, which would be the case, say, with top surgery, that wouldn't necessarily be the case, that you would have zero issues with that?
I mean, any type of like medical transition where there's like effort put into, even if you could don't, if
Effort. Okay, so a
even if it's
haircut, what do you think?
even if you literally, yeah, the haircut, anything where you're trying to
Cool.
socially transition, I'd say yeah,
So do
that's
you have
like
a problem? Do you have a problem with all women and femme presenting people that have short hair?
no.
Cool. Where exactly is the line for you?
I would say like attempts to socially transition. I don't think there's like a hard line. I think what you're trying to do is like the paradox of where you're trying to be like, oh, what makes a pile of sand, right? Like, but I don't think there's any like there's
anything.
no
I'm asking you
defined.
questions as a trans person.
Okay, that's great. But
Yeah.
I mean, when you're saying
Thanks.
when
Glad that it's great for you.
but when you're saying like the idea of like what kind of like what where's the line? I don't think there's a defined line. I think, but we can know when someone's trying to socially transition versus like not attempting any transition, right?
Why does it matter anyways? Like, shouldn't we? Why is it that you get to dictate? Shouldn't we leave that up to the individual to decide how they want to live their life, how they want to go about things?
No, because we as a society, bear responsibilities for it. We don't have this whole thing of like individuals do what something and it doesn't affect society. I think all society is affected by
If you get a haircut and he doesn't approve, he wants to be able to say in a bigoted way that he doesn't approve with your haircut.
Yeah. So how do we dictate? Where do we dictate what they do and don't do? Where does that come from?
It comes from social pressure. I don't think it's like the state cracking down like whatever, like, but like that's where we dictate things. That's how we dictate things as a society, what's socially acceptable or not. We put social pressure.
Oh, hang on though. I just have a really quick question. You just acknowledged that gender affirming care leads to far less self-unaliving amongst trans people, and yet you're advocating for trans people to have no social transition, not even a social transition. So you don't care about trans people, you just don't want them to affect everybody else.
Wait, what do you think my position? Can you restate what you said? I really don't understand what you think my position is.
You just acknowledged that you said there was a high proportion of trans people who self-unalive.
Yep.
Doug pointed out to you that that's far lower amongst people who receive gender affirming care. And you acknowledge that he was correct. And now what you're saying is, but I don't think anybody should even do a social transition.
No. I think I don't think you understood anything I was saying. I said that I think people should. I literally said people should.
Then what's the argument then? I'm confused.
I think that we should try to find ways to alleviate any new people having gender dysphoria in the first place. I think that it's a phenomenon that's like new in the couple like 100 years, and
Can you
that
slow down? Wait, can you slow down? Your words are blurring together, and the captions aren't picking up all of your words. I use captions. Sorry. It's all right. You wouldn't know that. That's why I'm asking very politely, trying to be polite here, because what I picked up was that you said that gender shouldn't exist, which I'm betting is not what you actually were trying to say.
No, I said that wait, where was I again? I said that that this new phenomenon of I'd say this I think it's a relatively new phenomenon relative to the about how societal breakdowns have been of gender stereotypes and such, and that this is a pretty new phenomenon of like general being transgender.
It's not a new phenomenon. Trans people have existed actually before the timing of Jesus, supposedly. So if you were to look back at the existence of trans people over time, we have always existed. There is no new phenomenon except for the fact that you can go on social media and see us more readily because we choose to be visible, because we're not going to be like, I don't know, stoned for it.
Guys, we can get to new guests at 35,000 likes, by the way. If you voted for Trump, hit the request button at the bottom. Yeah, I'm still confused because you acknowledge, and Eric sort of already said this, but I'll just restate it. You acknowledge that gender affirming care overall, as a umbrella term, helps the lower rates of self-unaliving, depression, anxiety, et cetera, but you don't necessarily want them to do that. What's the solution, though? What's the alternative?
Oh, I do want people who are currently trans to transition. I think that.
But you don't want new ones. You don't want new ones. So what is it that you're suggesting they should do instead?
I think our societal understanding of gender has produced this thing. I mean, if you want to, what Chris said was basically that that like it's existed for all of history, but we really have only had this modern understanding of gender for a very short amount of time in the modern world. So
also incorrect.
But like gender has
comprehensive understanding.
The concept of gender, first of all, is different in different societies and things like that, and it also has evolved over time. Like, for example, 300 years ago, like, men wore wigs and heels, and they would put makeup on and stuff, right? Like, I'm sure you saw pictures of George Washington. Like, that's not how we view men today, typically, as society, right? It's actually almost the opposite. So, like, that evolved over couple hundred years. The whole point is that, like, these things evolve, these things change over time, and I'm still not understanding what your solution would be to this.
My solution would be to want to change the understanding of gender. I mean, from what I think Judith Butler is generally correct in her analysis of how gender operates. And I think that even Marx makes this point in even something as basic as the manifesto, about how capital strips all traditions away, all production basically destroys these traditions, these understandings, these hard and fast understandings of gender that we had. When you give the example of like, oh, people used to wear high heels. Oh, you used to have, like, that's true, but it was seen as masculine. I mean that in general, like how lines have blurred between things, right? We have less of strict roles in society, and I mean, like, women are in the workplace today. I'm not necessarily making any moral statements on that. I'm just saying that that our understanding of gender has broken down.
Hang on,
I'm not saying that
women have always been in the workplace. Please don't say women are in the workplace today. Working class women have always worked.
I mean, they only existed proletariat after the Industrial Revolution.
Still talking.
Incorrect.
I'm talking about outside the home. Working class women have always worked. They would have worked in agriculture, out in fields. Where I
Education.
used to live in Scotland, women went out and worked in like in the fish industry, where their husbands would go out fishing and they would be the ones gutting and preparing the fish ready to be consumed. Women have always worked. Don't do that.
I feel like you're
When I
getting somewhat. I feel like you're getting somewhat close to the point, though, because you did mention Karl Marx, right? You mentioned and you critiqued capitalism. I feel like you're like
yeah, I'm a
sort of getting.
Hegelian.
I feel like you're sort of getting close to the point a little bit. And I don't want to get into a whole capitalism because that's not the topic. But the fact that you even did you read it? Did you read the all
Yeah,
that
I've
or
read
you?
Capital. I've read the Critique of German Ideology. I'm a Hegelian, so
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I have read Marx. And the thing is, I don't when I say when we're working, I mean like working in commodity production and capitalist production. I don't mean in domestic labor. I mean literally like proletarianization, because it was brought up
That's
before.
also what I was talking about. Women working in industries, in agriculture, in fishing, in factories.
go ahead, Chris. I see your hand up.
So one of the things I did want to call out with the mention of Marx is just because Marx was somebody who was one of the people who recognized socialism and communism, what I would say is both Marx and Engels were known to be homophobic and a little bit transphobic. Also, Marx was more than a little bit. Marx was also known to have said that the woman's position in society could be was better served in a more focusing in the home life. You put it that way. So, but if we were looking at the measure of development society, we should look at a woman's position, and we should look at a woman's position in it. So, I would not say that women should be. We should be following a model of Marx in the society, because he specifically focused on excluding women from production of their labor and relegating them to low-paid sectors of the workforce. That's a horrible idea.
That was
Hold
not
on,
what
subjective. 1 second. Pezzy, are you opposition? Pezzy, are you there? Going once, going twice. All right, guys, we are looking for opposition. So we did hit 35K. However, guys, there is the rule that if we don't have somebody in a request box, we can't get to a new person because I don't want to drop and just have nobody. So the moment we get somebody who requests, or if mods invite somebody up, we can just get to a new person, okay? Yeah, so subjective, if you want to respond to what Chris said.
Yeah, so I'm not going off of Marx's personal beliefs. I'm going off of his dialectics in Capital and in the Manifesto with Engels. I mean, any of their
He
personal beliefs are
specifically
not really
says
relevant.
in Capital, he specifically excludes women from production of from the production, as well as relegation
Yeah,
of
where?
their. Let me. Are you asking for a page number?
Yes, I have the book right now. Tell me what page
As
number.
do I, but I'll get you a source. But it is explicitly, specifically in Capital. Let me see if I can find the page number for you.
So that was not even what I was. I mean, even if you can, I mean, that's fine. But I'm just saying the fact that about production and productive labor, that, I mean, productive
Well, you were
labor
talking
has not
about
existed
gender.
until 1800.
You were
So,
talking
I
about
mean,
labor. You were talking about the perspective of gender from the perspective of Marx. And what I'm saying is that is a skewed perspective to start with, because he was still a white man. And anything that we're looking at from the perspective of a white man from that time period is going to be rooted in both patriarchy, because he is still a man, and racism, because he was still white.
It looks like it might be. So you have your book, right? And I could be wrong here. I'm just trying to look it up. Chapter 2, it might be in. Obviously, that's not a page, but see if you can go there, because it looks like that's where it starts talking about at least things in relation to women.
oh, is it in the Working Day? This one?
Again, I don't have the page number, but it looks like it would be in that chapter.
Let me grab my paper copy of the book from the other room. Y'all are coming with me. It's just going to take a sec.
Hey guys, keep tapping and sharing. Remember, we are looking for opposition. So if you're voting for Trump, you can disagree with the context of the background. Hit the request button at the bottom of the screen, please.
But even the fact that if Marx did say this,
He did.
okay, but even I'll grant you that even his use of Marx is my use of Marx is in the distinction between productive labor and like domestic labor in that sense, right?
Well,
When
he
I said
wanted
like
to
women
keep.
aren't in the workplace I literally meant as like the post-industrial or like the industrial workplace, like
The point
proletariat.
of it
The
is,
proletariat didn't exist before, like
the
the
point of it
industrial
is, he
revolution.
specifically was speaking about women not being part of the production. So if we're going to a model, if you are supporting a model where women are kept from the production, that would mean only men would be the ones in society that are focused on the production, which would be a model that I, for one, would be opposed to, and that I would assume would be the rest of the panel and probably most of the people in the live. That's just me, though. I don't think we should go back to a place where we say women should only be working either in the home or in more traditional, air quote, traditional roles where they are relegated to housework, teaching, things like that. That is certainly not a model I would go back to.
Mickey,
I
are
would
you
say we should go back
opposition?
to.
Oop, oh, Mickey's gone. All right, let's try. Yeah, guys, it was a new guest at 35K, but the rule is we have to have somebody to get to. If we don't have anybody in a request
Also,
box, I'm
I don't
not
think
gonna.
I can leave if you want. I mean, I don't think the comments really want me to stay up here. So,
You're okay. I'm not forcing to be up here. But yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll bring it down, but we'll see if we can get a new one. But I appreciate the conversation.
all
Okay.
right, see ya. I followed
Yep.
you. Talk to you
Cool.
maybe later.
All right. Cool. Take care. I'm surprised he actually read that. Like I was not expecting that, and the fact that he even had the book, like
Look, I've got it
a
literally
little
in
surprised.
hand now for
Yeah.
reference.
Nutella, I don't know why you're obsessed with maps and the colors on the flag. We all know what you're trying to get at, okay? It does. Nobody in the LGBT plus community supports that. That's not a part of the LGBT plus community. You're just making shit up, okay? Unless
The
you can,
GOP.
unless you can provide a source in which that is true, then you're just making shit up, okay? Okay, you being Redbeard, you being gay doesn't make it true. Okay, if it is true, provide a source. Okay, Gordon, how you doing?
Doing good.
I just need to know your age. How old are you?
40.
All right, what's on your mind, sir?
Why are you obsessed with pedophiles?
Excuse me.
Why are you obsessed with pedophiles?
Okay. Just make sure you don't say that word on TikTok. It'll get your account taken down. So just say P3DOs. I'm not
I don't
sure
care
what
if
you're.
they take it down.
But I'm asking you on my live to please not do that. I would like to have a conversation, but just try not to bleach.
Pedophiles, pedophiles,
Okay, well
guns, guns.
then you don't want to have a conversation then. We're not the one who's obsessed with them. You guys are the one who constantly wants to talk about all that in relation to this. That's you guys.
He sounded fun.
Yeah, sounds like a great guy. Lore?
Hello.
Hey, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 23.
All right, what's up?
Yeah, I'm just like wondering something like the hate towards the LGBTQ community. Why does it even exist? Like what have you guys done to deserve the hate, like in general?
That's a lot of victim blaming right there. Nobody deserves that. That's what we're talking about. Did you vote for Trump, by
That's
the way?
what
Did you vote for Trump?
No, I hate Trump. Oh wait,
Okay,
unalive
that's
that
what.
guy. Unalive
No,
that guy.
okay. Did you vote at all in the last election, or?
No, I didn't actually. I was just like more so studying everything, like people's opinions and whatnot. That's why I go into lives mostly. I get people's opinions, I get their thought. So if you could just like share some of your like um give me some of your insight, like are you a part of the LGBTQ community actually?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
But so what's your question?
If you could just like enlighten me,
I,
basically.
Well, this is a debate, so I don't like not to be rude, but this isn't like a teaching thing. Like you if you want to like be in the comments and learn things, that's fine. But like I'm not here to like just teach people a whole bunch of things. This is a debate live. So if there's a
All right.
contention you have, we can talk about that.
Let me think, because I think I just had one, but I forgot it. I think that I fucking hate Jews and I hate niggers.
Okay.
So you mute me and then you try to pull me up. You faggots are crazy.
Okay. Do you mind not slurring on a live, please?
Fuck you, faggot.
Well, okay then.
Well, that was 3 absolute gems in a row.
The effort that you had to put in, that he had to put in to like pretend to sound genuine at first for like 2 minutes, just to do that at the end is wild.
Oh my god.
Don't say please to people who hate us. I mean, not to be. This is how I run my lives. Okay, I understand that, but I run my lives how I run my lives, and other people run their lives how they run their lives. All right, let's get to the next guys. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
What's up, man?
Hey, how old are you?
22.
Okay, guys, do you hear wind or something? I don't hear it. Somebody in the comments is saying it.
Yeah,
But anyways,
that's what I said
Yeah,
earlier.
I do kind of hear it.
I'm picking it up.
I don't know. Is it loud?
It's not that loud, but I just can hear it.
All right. All right. So what's up?
So like, my question is like, how like people like join the LGBTQ? Because I
You're the
low-key want to
same
join it.
guy that was up 2 seconds ago and slurred. Go away.
No.
He was about to say something. He was about to.
Oh.
So guys, I have the AC on and it's like right there, but I always have it on. How about now?
Stop. Stop.
God damn it! I'm gonna get really fucking hot then. All right, guys. The things I do for you guys. I'm gonna get really, really hot in here. Apparently, I can't have the AC. It's weird that it picked it up today. Does it not normally pick it up?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, God, it's really annoying because the desk is right under it, and I can't move this desk anywhere else, and it's literally right under it. It's in the worst fucking spot. Anyways, guys, keep tapping and sharing. We are looking for ups. Okay. All right. Let's bring this one up.
Nigger, fuck niggers.
All right. Subjected. I see it, but we did just talk. Maybe a little bit later you can come on up. Okay. I just want to see if we can get some other people.
Pete Boggs, we all have jobs, buddy. I don't know. Like it's 11 p.m. on a Saturday where I am. Like what the hell?
The things that these people do, so just wild.
It is a holiday weekend. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
It probably gets them a little more riled up, huh? All right, let's get to the next one, okay? Got somebody right here. Ooh, I think we're gonna have 2 people up. Peter, how you doing?
What's up, man?
Hey, I just need to know your age, just for TikTok terms of service.
What?
I just need to know your age for TikTok terms of service, please.
I'm over 50.
All right, sounds good. I obviously knew you were over 18. I just have to hear people say it. But anyways, did you happen to vote for Trump?
Are you in California?
No.
So the whole discussion with Trump and Biden and all this stuff that we're going back and forth.
Hold on. Did you happen to vote for Trump?
So the whole thing about Trump and Biden.
Did you happen to vote, Peter?
Peter, they're both part of the same tree, bro.
Peter, did you happen to vote for Trump? Yes or no? It's a basic answer. It's a very simple answer. Okay, just yes or no. You can you're muted. Just unmute yourself. Just answer the question, and then we can move forward.
No, we can move forward now. Have you ever had a job? Because I'm throwing the dime on you with your
Peter,
ridiculous question. What state are you in? Are you
Peter,
around the LA area?
Peter,
Are you
can you
around
answer the
LA
question?
area?
Peter,
Because
we're not
you
going to move
insulted me
forward.
the first time we talked, and that lady did too, and she misread.
Well, it sounds like it's been on your mind ever since. I don't know who the hell you are, but it sounds like you've been thinking about us for a long goddamn time. Sounds like we've been living rent-free in your head, which sucks. I would work on that if I were you. Okay? Have you ever had a job? What kind of question is that? I don't know why you guys always bring that stuff up. We live in a society where you have to have money to buy things. In order to have money, you have to have a job. Okay? So just like by the very fact that I'm living in here, clearly I have a job. Where else do you think I get money from? You think it just comes out from thin air? You think I get it from a tree outside?
Hang on, Doug. Doug, you don't have a money tree in your garden. What?
Well, I'm working on it. I'm trying to grow it, but
Oh, come on.
like it's so wild when they like insinuate
Yeah, okay, there we go. There we go.
All right.
So basically, like I said, who was it said that if you're not a liberal in your 20s, you don't have a heart. If you're not a conservative in your 30s, you don't have a brain.
Okay.
So
Did you happen to vote for Trump?
You go back and forth about. Don't talk over me. All this discussion you have is.
Did you happen to vote for Trump? I don't know why you can't answer the question. At this point, your ego is just getting in the way of not answering it.
Muting me.
Answer the question,
That's
yes
why.
or no.
You
Did you vote for
me.
Trump? Did you vote for Trump, yes or
You
no?
keep muting me. You keep
Yes or
muting
no?
me. So
Peter?
you're trying to control the direction of this
Peter,
conversation.
did you?
Are you
Peter,
in California?
Peter, if you don't say yes or no, I'm
I've
dropping
been called
you.
all
Did you vote
kinds
for
of
Trump?
things. I want to
Did
come
you?
see you in person. We can talk in person.
I don't want to talk to you. Did you vote for Trump? Yes or no? If you don't say yes
I
or no,
want
I'm
to talk to
dropping
you
you.
though, because
If you don't
guys
say yes or
insulted
no, I'm
me.
dropping you. Goodbye.
Oh,
Why
no.
are you obsessed with California? I
You
couldn't be
insulted
further.
him, Doug.
I couldn't be further from California. I'm in Florida, buddy. If you want to fly all the way out here, you are welcome to do that. I'm not going to meet up with you though, but you're welcome to fly here and waste your money.
It sounds like he wants to fight you, which is very weird.
I don't remember talking to that guy, but he clearly remembers talking to us.
To be fair, Chris, there are a few people that wouldn't mind wrestling with Doug.
I mean, well, in a variety of different ways. Yeah, exactly. That or a date. As somebody put in the chat, it's the whole 3-second rule related to eye contact. Are you familiar with that one, Doug?
No, I'm not. Explain it to me.
Okay, so if somebody gives you sustained eye Panera date, if somebody wants 3 or more seconds of eye contact with you, either they want to fight you or
The
date
other
you.
yeah,
the other. I was like, let me make it TikTok friendly. Yeah,
well, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, like we pick up on social cues. That makes sense. Well, obviously, if someone's like attracted to me or I'm attracted to them, there's a lot more eye contact going on. So, yeah, that makes sense. I'll pull out the timer next time as soon as it hits 3 seconds. So, oh man, I do get really awkward in social situations though. So like, so yesterday, was this yesterday or the day before? So I had a client, she, and it was her last day of training because she just didn't want to train anymore. She did it for like an entire year. And I was training her like twice a week, and she's probably in her upper 60s, I think. Nice lady. I liked her. We had good conversations, but like, I don't know how to say like goodbye to somebody that I don't really like know super well. Like I don't know as a handshake, yeah, like or a hug. Like what do I do? And I made it really fucking awkward, and I'm gonna be thinking about it for the rest of my life because it was like a bye, see ya, never type of thing. Like I don't know what to do. I get really awkward in those situations.
that's understandable.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if I haven't picked up on it now, I guess it's probably too late. So, what's that snitch? I'll bring it up. And also too, like with guys, like sometimes they have different types of handshakes. They'll do the fist bump. They'll do like the psh, this thing, and like I've always fucked that up because like how do I know what type of like handshake or thing that you're trying to do? And I also make that very awkward. I'm just an awkward guy, I guess. What's up, Snatch?
Hey, how's it going? Oh my god, that is a lot of ants. Oh my goodness. That is gross.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm outside taking out the trash. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. Yeah, Miss Lisa, you're probably right, but I was extremely tired yesterday. I was very, very tired, and that just made it even like hard. I don't know. It was just very awkward. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, guys, we are looking for opposition. Okay, so hit the request button there at the bottom of the screen. Well, I'm happy it's not just me, Del. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm also incredibly awkward.
It's like I don't know. I don't know how some people are like just really natural at those types of things. Like, how do they? I don't know.
I don't know, Doug. It's just how we are.
I guess, you know.
I'm not natural with it. I suck at socialization.
I'm a great people person. I just don't like people very much. Like I'm great, but I choose not to exercise that skill.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I get that. I understand that. Guys, if you're asking what some of the letters mean, you could, if you are genuinely wanting to know, you can just do a very quick Google search, okay? But anytime somebody brings it up, it's not genuine. I know it's not genuine. Oh, man.
If only there were a tool you could search, like an engine of sorts. If only. If we were to harken back to subjected, in Capital, there are references to women related to production in chapter 10, chapter 15, and chapter 25. I could go into the Cliff's notes of it, but all of them are about the usage of how the usage of women and children in the workforce are harmful to men.
All right, we got a guest on up over here. All right. Septic?
Yep.
Hey, how old are you?
Over 40.
All right. And did you happen to vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did this last time.
Okay. What are your views on the LGBT plus community?
I mean, doing their own thing doesn't really affect me in any particular way, as long as it's not affecting me in a particular way, you know?
So what is it you requested for? Is there something specifically you wanted to talk about? Do you disagree with the background?
Well, I disagree with the premise of like why does MAGA hate LGBT? I don't think that's an accurate statement. I mean, I would say that a majority of MAGA falls under the camp of probably leaning towards a religious skew and, popular in America's Christianity. So their viewpoint would be that the homosexuality, lifestyle and everything leads to spiritual destruction, which wouldn't be like hating someone, but that's just like wanting them to not destroy themselves.
Well, I think whatever their intentions are, the impact of it is hateful, though, right? They may very well have positive intentions, and I'm sure they do, but if the impact of it is not positive, then their intentions really don't matter as much as the impact of it.
Well, it depends on what you define as positive. Like, if you're talking about like spiritual destruction versus not spiritual destruction, then not spiritual destruction would be a positive, for example.
We can dive into that. Chris, you want to chime in?
Yeah. So you were talking about, and that's honestly where I was going, because the comments you made about religious skew and harming of society as under the guise of spiritual destruction. Those weren't the exact words you used the first time, but I didn't catch it before my caption scrolled off. So how is who I sleep with destructive to literally anyone else?
No, it would be a matter of destructive to yourself and your own your own soul.
Exactly. So why does it? Okay. So outside of the paternalism and certain people thinking that they know better than other people, which is very much against the speaking of, according to the Bible, people like Jesus. What is it that about who someone sleeps with or how someone presents that other people feel that they need to insert themselves in?
I mean, I don't think you're characterizing it correctly. It would be like if someone is dying and you help them, kind of thing. Is how they feel. So they feel compelled. I would say most people that you would probably be characterizing as, quote unquote, hating the LGBTQ community would be acting in good faith in that they want to save your life.
I don't care what they want. Who I fuck isn't your business.
I understand, and that's why we don't legislate it. That's why. I mean, the majority of. I mean, if you're talking about MAGA, the majority of MAGA is totally fine with you being with whoever you want. They're not even actively trying to repeal marriage.
So here's
wait.
What I wanted to say very quickly.
Hold on, Sedge. Hold on, Sedge.
Go ahead.
Let Chris finish, and then you go.
With the laws against me as a member of the trans community, I would say that that's not the case. In fact, according to recent documentation that's come out of this administration, they have said that we can be pew-pewed on site for being trans.
I don't think anyone has said that you.
No, it came from the administration. It's in the cyber terrorism. It's in the cyber terrorism notes for the documentation came out. I want to say May 6th. It's on page 6, going into page 7. You can read it for yourself.
Notes on cyber terrorism.
Yeah, because they said that they could on site unalive us.
Who said this? Which department?
The administration. It's a policy documentation on cyber T-wordism.
But you're talking about a concept. Like, there's a lot of agencies that are involved in cyber terrorism. I
understand that.
Which agency would have the pew-pews that you're describing, and which agency is being instructed to do this? I'm not seeing your connection here.
What I'm saying is that this administration put out documentation at the beginning of last month talking about anybody who was involved with the trans community could be pew-pewed on site for transgenderism.
Okay, I mean, I guess I'd have to see that documentation, but I feel like this might be either a fake internal document.
No, it's a public documentation.
Okay, well, again, maybe you're mischaracterizing it, but
I'm not.
I haven't seen this. I don't think that's an accurate representation of whatever you're talking about.
And that is certainly missing on your part, but it does exist, and it literally does say that.
Okay, well,
Snitch, you want to chime in still, or?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that laws against saving somebody's physical life, where we have measurable impacts on how that can have a positive impact, specifically when we're talking about something like, let's say somebody is passing away from cancer, somebody is extremely severely, diagnosed with severe depression and is close to self-unaliving. There's various methods in which we can physically quantify the level of harm that someone is doing to oneself, in which we would be inclined to intervene. However, that being said, when it comes to somebody being trans, somebody who is lesbian, somebody who is homosexual, these things, they don't have a measurable negative, measurable, quantifiable, observable negative impact on that person where you could say they're doing a negative thing to themselves. You have faith, and just keep in mind, faith is believing in something without evidence. You have faith that what they're doing is wrong to themselves because of what your personal spiritual beliefs are, but everybody has at least we have freedom of religion in this country. I don't know if you know that, but that has a separate thing to do than the physical things that we can actually observe and measure. So when you say that they're spiritually harming themselves and you want to save them from themselves, no, you have faith that what they're doing is spiritual harming. But in reality, your faith is belief without any evidence. So it literally makes no sense to follow that quote unquote faith in the same way you would follow your eyes or your ears when you hear somebody screaming in agony.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what I was saying at all. I was saying that the motivations behind people in MAGA that you're describing, like their motivation is to save people. It's that's
their motivation is wrong.
That's a totally separate argument from.
No, it's not. It's not separate at all, because when you're saying to save someone, saying to save somebody from self-unaliving themselves because they have severe depression, which is measurable, observable, and quantifiable, versus I want to save somebody from themselves because of some faith I have, which is a belief in a God without any evidence. Those are two separate things, and you cannot intermingle them.
I understand. That's why, again, MAGA isn't necessarily advocating for legislating, and like they're not even pushing to end gay marriage. Like for the most part, that's like an 80-20 issue. They don't care. Like, yeah, okay, marry. I mean, in a spiritual sense, the biggest hang up with gay marriage in general is that they don't believe that it is actual marriage, because marriage would be a sanctified union under God. So if you guys want to have a civil union together, that's fine. Like almost all of MAGA doesn't care. Go do what you're going to do.
It sounds like they do. And guys, 65K is the like to kickle. Go ahead, Chris.
So the actual document that you can look up is the U.S. counterterrorism strategy. That is what I was referring to. And if you go to page 6, you will see where it is the paragraph that starts, in addition to cartels and Islamist T-word groups, our national CT activities would also prioritize the rapid identification and neutralization of violent secular political groups whose ideology is anti-American, radically pro-transgender, and anarchist.
Oh, so okay.
They
so
don't
it's not
specifically. Wait till
so
I'm
it's not
done.
trans.
Wait.
Hold on, let Chris finish, and then you can go.
So specifically, they were saying transgender. And they specifically say later in the document as well that trans people should be able to be pew-pewed on site. Now, there's also hundreds upon hundreds of laws that have been enacted. There have been a number of schools that have been investigated by the Department of Education for even not barring trans athletes from certain activities. If they so much as include people, then schools lose federal funding, including colleges. So to say that there is not legislation being enacted, or that MAGA is anything I don't know, even as inclusive as putting up with our existence, I would say is a bit of a stretch, considering the legislation that has been enacted, proposed, and what is in these documents.
Yeah, I have it pulled up here too. I mean, you can read through it, man, but I have it pulled up here, and so you can read everything that Chris is talking about.
By the way, marriage. Oh, sorry, Chris. Marriage also is a secular construct. It's not a religious construct. So marriage existed way before any modern religion, and part of the reason for marriage was to form bonds in communities and alliances between families. Marriage predates all modern religions.
65K is like the kid goal, guys, by the way. We are looking for opposition. Go ahead, Subtic. Subtic, you're on mute.
Is that the document that she was talking about, or that you read from? It was specifically mentioning.
Chris goes by they, them. Just keep that in mind, please.
Okay, sorry. The document that they read was it was mentioning domestic terrorist groups that may have that as part of their ideology. It wasn't talking about pew-pewing trans people. So, like, that may be part of the counterterrorism, like countering domestic terrorists.
Have you seen the memo that has come out from the DOD and the DOD, as well as CBP and ICE, regarding trans people traveling both domestically and internationally?
I don't know what document you're talking about there either.
Cool. So,
but I was going to address the participation in schools thing too.
No, we're not talking about school before we go there. So this is, which, by the way, everybody should be able to participate in school in whatever way feels right to them. But, feel free to do more paternalism.
Other gender locker rooms, right?
Again, try to pivot. But the point that I was bringing up was that this administration explicitly is saying that we can be detained indefinitely if there is suspicion of us being trans, if there is suspicion of us changing our gender markers on documents. Now, never mind the fact that it is completely legal for us to change our gender documents on our identification with proper paperwork accordingly, but they have thus made it something that we can be detained for indefinitely.
Is it gender on these documents, or is it sex on the documents?
It depends, because if you are talking about, for example, both a license and a passport, if you have a marker of X, that does not denote sex.
What does it denote?
That you are outside of the sex of female or male. It is traditionally used for people who are non-binary.
And are the is there some kind of legislation that requires people to have their birth sex on their passport?
No, but this administration has been going after them for it. There is absolutely no law that says that the sex that you are assigned at birth is required to be on any federal documents.
Well,
Also,
your sex isn't the gender would be assigned. The sex isn't assigned.
The
That's just what
sex
you're
is
born
assigned
as.
at birth. The sex is assigned at birth. People are not karyotyped.
yeah, it would. I think it would be the other way around, Chris, because sex would be the biological part, and then gender would
Yes,
be
but
the...
what I'm saying is somebody when a person is born, somebody looks down and makes a judgment call. So sex is assigned at birth. Gender is how we colloquially. Wait! I'm still speaking. Colloquially, we refer to it as gender, but the sex that is on our markers are not based on anything other than somebody looking down and seeing, does somebody have a penis or a vulva? With rare exception.
So you're saying if they this process would be not assigned if they were to take the DNA of the person instead of looking?
If they were to, which by the way would be super expensive to do so and is only done on very rare occasions, if we were to karyotype people, that would be wildly different. But what I was saying is on your documentation, if you go through the processes in order to change your documentation for ID, say on your passport, say on your driver's license, say on any other government issued documentation, there are processes to do so, and it is legal to do so. What CBP and ICE have been doing is, at the guise of this administration, they have the ability to detain people based on markers that they suspect have been changed.
By the way, I just wanted to add on that, I know that it seems a little bit confusing, because when it comes to what biologists define sex as, we don't define physical features as the entirety of what makes something sex. So when it's colloquially termed sex assigned at birth, in reality, in really brutal technicality, it's technically gender assigned at birth, because we can't fully, as Chris said, we don't karyotype people traditionally, so we can't really say for 100% certainty that it's sex assigned at birth. It's more so assumed sex rather than assumed sex or assumed gender assigned at birth. It's not something we can fully hard line identify, so it is a loose term. I just wanted to make sure I clarified that before we go forward in the conversation, because
that's why I asked about DNA.
It can be very
DNA would make it easy, right? It would be
it will be a lot better.
It would.
Hey guys, remember?
Also, though.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, I was just making a quick announcement. Go ahead, Chris.
It would also be a lot more complicated, though, because there is this assumption among people who are focused on somebody's sex. There is this assumption that it's either XX or XY, and as Scientific Snitch would very much back me on this, there's a lot of variation, and it's not just as simple as XX or XY.
Yeah, I was about to bring up, there was actually a really recent case study, and a good handful of them, of women who have XY chromosomes who are fully functional, they menstruate regularly, can have pregnancies unassisted, have births unassisted, and literally don't know that they have XY chromosomes until they get karyotyped. So it's not something that's unprecedented that we find women with the quote-unquote male sex chromosomes, because the gene that encodes for the production of small gametes is just like one cliplet on the Y chromosome, and that can be removed, deleted, inserted on another chromosome. Heck, it is even logically plausible that the gene that encodes for small gamete production for males, and small gametes is just sperm, could be deleted and inserted onto the X chromosome, so you could theoretically have an XX male. Like, that's how
does that
wild
mean there's
biology is.
a new sex, or is that just some kind of genetic,
So
difference in
as
very
some,
unique cases?
so as somebody who's in physiology, I would just classify that as somebody who would be intersex. But again, it's not something that we can readily identify, and we also have various other measures of what makes somebody's like identifiable gender, which is completely separate from what we're talking about when we're referring to chromosomes, sex, and gamete production, because you could have maybe the structures that would produce large gametes, but because maybe you have vaginal agenesis and you don't actually have the necessary structures to be fertile, then yeah, maybe you're not like you would biologically produce large gametes, but you're not able to actually conceive, so you would be considered like an infertile female. So there's a lot of little exceptions, there's nuances. It is a gradient, it's not a binary. And it would be incredibly naive of one to assume that it's a binary. And so it's a large reason why I think that it's kind of ridiculous that people are being reprimanded for changing their what they identify as on like governmental documents, because in all technicality it's not really sex in the way that biologists understand it. It's sex in a colloquial way that would almost be considered gender, because really you're just looking at structures and assuming based off of like societal norms.
Here, guys, one quick thing. Number one, 65,000 likes. We can get 2 new guests. We are looking for opposition. I have enough friendlies on up here, by the way, so no more friendlies. It's already kind of at its limit, anyways. If you're watching on the tube, if you can subscribe and like the live as well, I would appreciate that. Go ahead, Septic.
Yeah, I mean, I have to look into it a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure most of the scientific communities has pretty solid consensus on there being 2 sexes in every single species, just about. So
that is not true at all.
I mean,
that is literally not true at all. So
an exception doesn't really make the rule, but I mean,
no, it's not an exception makes the rule. It's not an exception makes the rule. It's the fact that we literally have like dozens of case studies and reports of various different variations of XX and XY. And right now, the consensus, according to the WHO, as well as various other health organizations, is that it's not necessarily the chromosomes, it's not necessarily the structures, it's a culmination of features, and specifically the production of large or small gametes, which makes somebody female, male, or intersex. And so it is not the case that it is binary. We understand that it is a gradient, and there are many species. In fact, there is a large fish that is, I believe, over in Japan, which is, it's called a kudai or something, where it has this large forehead. The males have this large forehead and females have a smaller forehead. The females can actually transition over and become males, and then vice versa whenever there's not enough males to actually maintain the population of fish. And there's multiple other species, thousands of them, that have a very similar way of living. In fact, many amphibians. I think a lot of you guys and people in your space probably remember when people were saying people are making the frogs gay. No, frogs already are. In fact, they readily can do so based off of their own biology. So when you say that most scientists, and by the way, I am a scientist, so you best not refer to me as the scientists in your little majority that you're thinking of that think it's a binary, even though most health organizations around the world don't think it's a binary. You best not be referring to me in that little cluster of biased scientists you appear to believe.
Okay, well, I mean, I wouldn't include you, obviously, if you're disagreeing with it. There isn't 100% scientific consensus on anything. That's why
there's a majority of scientific
sometimes the majority is right, sometimes the minority is right. I mean, yeah.
No, the majority usually is correct, and the majority, especially in the field in which they study, is usually correct, because most scientists who specifically study sex and gender would agree with that.
I mean, if you say so, but okay. I don't see why this has to do with MAGA hating trans people.
Well, no, because the reason why is because number one, all of these views, all of these things that are being done harm the community, like significantly so. That's why we're having these conversations, right? Like they go out of their way to make legislation for these groups of people, right? We see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of anti-LGBT plus pieces of legislation introduced to Congress every year, and that seems to be going up year to year to year. So yeah, that's hateful. You can say whatever you want, but the effect of it is very much hateful.
I mean, it's really just getting like, I mean, the whole breaking point of this was, just trans athletes and everything. Like, it's really just kind of using common sense here. Like, okay, no penises in girls' locker rooms. There you go. Like, you can talk about your karyotype and everything like that, but just don't put a penis in a girl's locker room, and everyone's fine.
Trans athletes can you name?
What does that have to do with naming? It's not about how many.
If it's actually about trans athletes, which you have not brought up until now, so that's rather interesting. Then how many trans athletes can you name?
There's not many, right? There's few.
Not, and yet you're willing to come up here and talk about people's junk and say we should keep people. We should keep people who have penises out of women's locker rooms. Sure. So that's super inflammatory. And based in literally nothing on a subject that you clearly don't know much about, so that's awesome. Way to throw hate to throw hate at my community.
No, it's not about hating anyone. It's just.
Oh no, it is. It is. When you say things like that, it makes it more likely that the trans community and all of us in it will be victims of hate crimes. So when you spew rhetoric like that, it has real world consequences.
It's not rhetoric. It's just a matter of.
It is rhetoric, in fact.
Okay. All right. Well, okay.
Wait, I just wanted to mention on the topic of trans athletes, just so you know, most trans athletes, depending on the sport that they're in, and for the most part, unless you're talking about some type of sport that really requires height, like maybe like a jump lift or something, 9 times out of 10 when we're talking about sports, as long as they've been on testosterone or estrogen or whatever not hormone that they've been on, they're going to actually have a disadvantage compared to the biological female or biological male, specifically for the reason that when you're taking hormones, specifically going from male to female, you're taking the opposite of what you're traditionally you have, and so you're suppressing what you normally have, and by suppressing what you normally have below physiological levels, you're going to disadvantage yourself based off of what that hormone specifically provides your biology. So for example, when it comes to muscle mass, after a certain period of time of suppressing testosterone and taking estrogen, yes, you're going to have more feminine features, yes, you're going to have more feminization in terms of like gynecomastia, as well as other, like for example, breast tissue. You're also going to have significantly less muscle mass, as well as a little bit of a reduced power output because you're suppressing testosterone to such low degrees in order to induce a feminizing effect.
And this is actually what we've seen. Muscle mass than women.
Hold on, quick, time out. Guys, the 2 people that were in the request box, I guess, left. I guess they got impatient, so we don't have somebody in the request box. So unfortunately, I know you guys are not going to like it. We got to stick with the same guest because we don't have somebody else to go to. But mods, if you guys want to invite somebody up or somebody requests them up, we can get them right away. Okay. So septic. So yeah. So what's your response to what Snoo said?
And I just want to clarify, strength specifically and power output will either be on an equal footing or potentially disadvantaged in individuals who are currently on like testosterone blockers or whatever not, especially if you're blocking androgens. So it's particularly if you're trying to block androgens and take estrogen to induce a feminizing effect in a male, because of the fact that they biologically produce it from their testes, they have to block it in order to suppress it to a low enough extent in order to have a feminizing effect from that estrogen. So as a result, you are actually going to be disadvantaging yourself because of that.
I understand, but like, so you're saying if LeBron James,
we're getting an echo. Hold on, time out. We're getting feedback or an echo.
So if LeBron James takes testosterone blocking hormones and everything, then he has no longer has an advantage in WNBA, for example.
If he takes it for a really long time, then yes.
You don't
It
think
would be
you don't think
years.
he'd have any unfair advantage in that league? Even
Well, as I
afterwards?
said, if the sport depends on height, then yeah, then
Okay.
somebody who's tall is going to have an advantage. However, there are plenty of really tall women there's some women who are over 7 feet tall. So when it comes to height, I don't think that is as big of a issue, especially when we're talking about 2% of the athletic population.
Hey,
But when we're talking
wait
about
a second. Is
strength and
that
power output,
Rubinator?
that's
I
an
think
entirely different
if that's
discussion.
Rubinator, he hates
And
me
what
now.
Okay, all
can
right.
you not overtalk me? Thank you.
It's just you talk a long time. I was just looking at the new guest.
Because you provided me with something that's nuanced, which I already addressed, where I said as long as the sport doesn't involve an advantage on height, which would be a separate advantage, which by the way you would also have to penalize women who are above 6 foot, which makes literally no sense.
Okay, all right.
So
Hold on, one quick thing. Ruben, we'll get to you in just one quick second. Hey, the person that's calling
No
from
problem.
YouTube, we have a guest on up. We have a guest on up, so that's why he didn't answer the phone call. I can call you back, the person who called from YouTube, in just a few after we wrap up this conversation. Okay, so just hang tight. I'll call you back. All right, Ruben, good.
Yeah, just real quick. Septic knows who I am. So there's a little sub community. Just to let everyone in. I'll be quick. I know you don't want friendlies. In virtual reality, if anyone's got a VR headset, there's an app called Big Screen. It's kind of like the old AOL chat rooms of social where you can hang out in rooms and talk to people. I've known Septic in that realm for at least a year now, probably more. He's always doing debating about MAGA stuff. He's always wrong. He's laughed at a lot, but he knows who I am. He recognized me immediately. I just found it funny that he was up here. But anyone else who's on VR, who's got a MetaQuest headset or something that can access that, I just want to promote. There's an app called Big Screen. It's really good for these kind of debates. We get rooms of 15 to 30 people where you can we have discussions about stuff like this.
Cool.
If anyone's on there, you can look me up. I'm on the same screen name, Rubinator2112. Come find me and friend me. And we host debate rooms on different topics, usually current events or religion.
Cool. All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, we got to bring you back down, but thank you. All right, hey, the person that's called again on YouTube, just hang tight. I will call you back, okay? All right, Septic, any last stuff before I get to the new one?
No, other than just, I mean, we're, people that I know, MAGA, we're totally fine. If you're LGBT, we're not trying to harm anyone, do your thing. It's, I don't know many MAGA people who would be anti-LGBT.
He speaks to them all the time. But anyways, appreciate the conversation. Take care. All right, I'm going to call back the person from YouTube. So people on the panel, unfortunately, I don't have it set up yet where they're going to be able to hear you. I still need to somehow fix that. So it's just going to be a one-on-one. So if you guys try to chime on, then it's going to be really difficult to because I'll hear you and they're going to be talking at the same time. So, but anyways, let me call this person back real quick. But yeah, guys, if you're joining live, make sure you click the follow button on the top left on TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, okay? Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. I just need to know your age, please. How old are you?
45.
All right, sir. What's on your mind?
Well, I guess we could debate the LGBT problem or whatever you want.
Well, yeah, that's the topic. So, do you have an issue with the LGBT plus community?
Not as much as I used to.
Oh, okay.
There are issues with it, though.
What would be your issues?
Well, I could point to one case in Canada last year where they had a shop teacher with gigantic foam breasts that was cross-dressing, and they were powerless to fire him because of, stupid corporate bureaucrat rules. Someone like that influencing children, that's a problem.
What is it you're referring to specifically? And how does this extrapolate to the entire LGBT plus community?
Because it's a symptom of the LGBT plus community.
Well, if we talk about symptoms, we can say symptoms of men great women, right? Men overwhelmingly great women. So we could say the same thing there. So we shouldn't have men in schools then, right?
Hold on. Men overwhelmingly what?
Great women?
Oh.
That's not funny.
Great is not funny.
I have to use a TikTok friendly term. You know what I'm trying to say, though.
I know what you're trying to say,
Okay.
man. It's
So, but
pretty
anyways, the
pathetic.
point is, I'm just using your logic, right? So you first of all, you just pointed out one case, and I'm sort of familiar with that case. But secondly, we can't extrapolate one thing to an entire community because again, we can just do that with men and just say men shouldn't be in school by that logic, which I doubt you would
Right.
agree
So,
with.
I agree. In the history of mankind, men have raped women.
Sure.
That is true.
Okay. So using your logic, we shouldn't have men in school.
No, I said we shouldn't have weirdo gays teaching children.
I don't know what weirdo. I don't know what that means. Okay, listen. There's appropriate clothing for a teacher or for anybody in school, regardless of if you're straight, cis, lesbian, gay, whatever the case might be. Okay.
Of course.
So, but what does this have to do with LGBT plus community, though?
Well, because the person that was inappropriately attired in the school influencing the children was LGBT plus community. Just like the two people that shot up that mosque a few days ago in San Diego.
Okay. Well, first of all, transgender people in relation to mass pew-pews are actually underrepresented in relation to the population that they are.
I take umbrage with your stats. Where'd you get that? The Cato Institute?
Yeah, so trans people represent about 1% or so of the population. So let me please talk. So trans people represent about 1% or so of the population. Now, in relation to mass pew-pews, it's actually about 0.1% of them. So they're underrepresented.
0.1%.
0.1%, yeah.
As a whole number of the LGBTQ community, mass pew-pew perpetrators are something in excess of, at least 5%. That would mean constitute mental illness.
Wait. Hold on. You're saying, time out. You're saying that LGBT plus community commits 5% of mass unalivings?
No, I said at least 5% of the community commits. Yes.
Where did you get that stat from?
Well, it's not. I didn't get that stat from anywhere.
So you just made it up? Just made it up?
That. Like just making up that you're a different gender?
Can we stick on? Let's not pivot to something else. Why did you make up a stat if you don't have data to back it up?
Well, I don't really need data because you see,
you do. You can't just say sir. You can't just say 5% of them are mass. You can't just say that without data to back it up. That's not how.
I don't have to say that.
Okay.
I don't have to even argue with you.
Sure. So let's move past that because you can't prove that. Okay. So what is your issue with the LGBT plus community? If not that.
They're degenerate sexual perverts that can't get off unless they're doing something weird. And that's one step shy of pedophilia.
All right. Hey. First of all, we're not going to be doing that, okay? We're not going to be projecting whatever insecurities, whatever issues that you have onto other people, okay? Secondly, what do you mean by degenerate? What does that mean?
I mean abnormal, asexual.
Asexual means not
prescribing to the binary male-female paradigm.
And why is that
has been the entire history of the human race.
Well, that's not true at all. But why would that be a problem? Other than you just don't like it. It seems like you don't like it. But give me a problem.
I told you why it's a problem because it's kink and it's perversion of the norm.
Okay, well then you don't have to engage. Then you can do. Hey, sir. You can engage in your vanilla sex, right? You can do that if you want. Other people can have a more fun time in the bed. Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's perfectly fine to be sexual degenerate. Okay.
Well, you have to describe what a sexual degenerate is and why that's bad. It sounds like other thing. Hold on. It just sounds like you don't. Hold on. It just sounds like you don't like people that have different sexual appetites than you. That's it. That's all it is. There's no objective harm that you're able to describe at all.
I can.
So I want you to describe an objective harm, but you can't just say it's degenerate, right? Because that's incredibly subjective. Give me something that we can measure that's harmful that they do.
Well, we could measure the historical American obscenity laws that we've had in this country for a couple of 100 years now. You could measure it against those. Do you
What
think that
laws?
one man putting his dick into another man's asshole is degenerate or obscene?
I think people can do what they want as long as it's consensual with other adults. It sounds like you have a lot of issues you need to work out. It
We're making
seems
progress. So anything is acceptable as long as there's consent.
consent is important. Yes.
So what if two people are consenting, but they're both men? That's okay?
Yes.
What if both people are consenting, but they're twin brothers? That's okay?
If they're twin brothers, why do you guys always go to incest? Why is that like your guys' always go-to thing?
That's just first on my list. We're going to go down the list of what's acceptable.
Okay.
After gayness comes incest.
Yeah, so there's measurable. So there's measurable harm. Do you mind if I speak? So there's measurable harm with incest, right? We know the measurable harm with it. Now, at the end of the day, right, it's not something I would engage in. It's not something I would engage in at all. And I think most people find it to be disgusting and gross. Now, hold on. Slow down. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't make a law necessarily. Like, if somebody wants to do that, go for it. Not my thing, right? But, like, whatever. I think there's probably better things to worry about.
Whatever, right.
Yeah.
It's all good. What if a person has consent and wants to fuck a pig?
Jesus Christ. Well, pigs can't consent.
Oh, well, who says they can't consent? They can't object.
They can't consent because they can't verbalize yes or no.
So, since they're not objecting, then who says they're not consenting?
Because you have to, because in order for consent to happen, you have to get the okay. It's not, it's good until proven otherwise. It's that you shouldn't do it until given the okay. That's what it is, right? So, like, for example, this is really concerning. This is really concerning because it sounds like you would just grab a woman by her, you know what, right? It sounds like you do what Trump did, and just like if she happens to say no, then you would stop, right? So that's not how it works, though. That's not how consent works.
Okay, well, let me take it back. The last time you had sexual intercourse, did you stop beforehand and get consent and then get a signed affidavit, releasing you of liability because you proclaimed consent?
Yeah, I didn't sign any papers. That's not how consent works.
Oh. Well, how does consent work?
I shouldn't have to explain to a grown adult how consent works. This is starting to get really fucking concerning.
It's starting to get concerning because you can't back your argument.
No, you're the one who doesn't know what consent is.
It doesn't matter what consent is. What matters is right and wrong.
Yes. Wait. Did you just say it doesn't matter consent? Did you just say it doesn't matter about consent?
You're a pervert.
Did you just say it doesn't matter about consent? Is that what you just said?
It doesn't matter what I can say because what
consent.
I say or what
consent.
I think. What matters is you let other dudes fuck you up the ass because you're a pervert.
Oh, well, I'm not a bottom. So no, I actually don't do that.
And the American people don't want perverts teaching their kids or driving school buses or city
Well, again, now we're
buses
getting back to your feelings. But now we're getting back to your feelings. You have yet to describe anything that's harmful other than you just don't like it, man. Like, I really think this is something that you need to talk out with a therapist. I really do. Because you're not explaining the harm. You have a lot of built up whatever inside of you that, like, you've talked about doing stuff with pigs, and you've talked about doing stuff with siblings. I don't know where your mind is at.
Well, we've talked about a lot of stuff, but I think the stuff that you've actually done far outweighs anything I've talked about.
I don't know what that means. What have I done that is so harmful?
Have you ever had another man's dick in your mouth?
So why would that matter? Why would that matter?
Because it's wrong.
Why?
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 Why is it wrong for one man to suck another man's dick?
Yeah, why?
That's something you're just going to have to learn in life, boy.
No, I would like for you to tell me why that's wrong.
It's wrong because it's against nature and it's filthy and nasty.
It's against nature? Tell me what nature is. Nature doesn't really talk about BJs. At least last time I checked. Where does nature talk about BJs?
Nature isn't really your concern.
You just mentioned nature. You said it's against nature.
It is against nature.
Okay.
It's against God.
Okay,
It's against the history of America. It's against.
I don't care about the history of America. So let's go back to nature. I want to go back to nature. You said it's against nature. So what is the nature? Tell me, describe the nature and how it goes against it.
Okay, let me describe it for you. In nature, 98% of nature anyway, there's a binary, male and female. Okay, there's a plug-in and there, there's a plug and a plug you plug into, right?
You mean an outlet?
That's right. Like an outlet and a plug. Okay. Binary, simple.
What does that have to do with anything? It means nothing towards the conversation.
People follow in a binary system.
That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with why. That has nothing to do with why giving a head to another guy is wrong. Yeah, you are right. The majority is males and females, right? There's intersex, right? But the majority is that. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, though. We're talking about in this conversation why you brought it up, giving head to another guy. That has nothing to do with it.
So you're asking why that is wrong?
Correct.
I would just point out that 99% of all of human history, it's been the 1% outlier.
Well, first of all, that's not true. The LGBT plus community represents about 10% of the LGBT plus community represents about 10% of the population within America. I'm in the middle of talking, okay? So it doesn't matter if they represent 1%, 10%, 5%, 50%. That doesn't explain why it's wrong, though. Saying something is in the minority doesn't describe why it's wrong. Redheads are in the minority. They represent about 1% of the population. I would imagine you would say that's not wrong, being a redhead. So,
that's fair.
Correct.
But that's fair. Just being in the minority doesn't technically necessarily make you wrong, but it usually does. It usually does.
Why? So why in this case does it?
I just don't think you want to learn. I think you just want to keep sucking dudes' dicks because you're a pervert.
Again, man, I think there's a lot of shit you need to work through. You have yet to explain why. But I'm going to have to let you go because you're just talking about your feelings at this point. Unless you have an argument. Man.
Your perversion, you turn around and say, oh, the pervert, he's gay. Look how much he thinks about LGBT.
Correct.
They think about people's genitals.
Yeah.
Your argument is, we're not gay, you're gay. But there's nothing wrong with being gay.
No, I don't know your sexuality. I don't know your sexuality, nor do I care about your sexuality.
I don't care about yours either.
You do seem to care quite a bit. You've spoken about it numerous times about my sexuality.
I don't care unless you cross the line.
Okay, but you're not explaining why doing things with another guy. You still have not explained why doing things with another guy is wrong. You're just telling me your feelings.
If you want to see it like that, you can continue.
I think everybody sees it like that.
That's what's great about America. You can do whatever you want. You can suck dicks until you're 80 years old if that's what you want.
It sounds like you really want to give head to a guy because you've brought it up like 7 times at this point. Maybe you should try it.
Oh, so I'm gay.
Well, maybe you should try it. It could be something to explore. Sure.
Well, you used it as an insult.
It wasn't an insult. It wasn't an insult. I think you might enjoy it. I think you might enjoy it. I'm trying to help you out.
Because it seemed like you were trying to call me gay to insult me or hurt my feelings or prove that
I don't know if you're gay. I don't know if you're gay. You just brought it up so many times that I suspect that you think about it. Yeah, it sounds like you think about it. Sure.
You know what my position is on it. We've discussed it for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, listen, I don't know how much further we can get in this conversation, just because you're not really bringing up any arguments other than your feelings. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I'm going to go ahead and get to another guest, explore things possibly, and see how that goes, okay? Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. That was a lot.
So that happened.
Yeah. Sorry, I know you probably wanted to say a million things, and I really need to somehow change this so panelists can chime in because I'm sure you wanted to say a whole lot. So,
it was probably better that I didn't. I would say the one thing I kept thinking is somebody needs to check that guy's hard drive.
Yeah.
but like, oh God, I personally, and like, you know, y'all chat in the chat, like, keep me honest here, but like, I don't think about other people and their sex lives that much. I especially don't think about the specifics of other people and their sex lives that much. So the idea, the way the caller was referring to dicks in mouths or in asses, I was like, wow, sir, that's a lot for you to be visualizing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. That was just very interesting. So somebody on YouTube, their comment says, glasses check, beard check, doing a live stream about the subject, yep, you're gay. So guys, apparently having a beard and glasses makes me gay.
Well, and yeah, apparently someone's saying that the number of people that are thinking about you that way should be leaked. I don't think, none of my business. All right.
Hi, Gus. How you doing?
Hi. So I'm a neo-libertarian philangist. I personally subscribe to.
Hold on. Number one, I am just looking for opposition, but first, even before that, I need to know your age. How old are you?
I am currently 18. I was born on June 8th, 2008.
Why did you say you're currently 18? Of course, like that's a weird. I don't trust you. No. Who says that? Like, no shit. We're talking about currently. Like, I'm currently.
Because by the way, someone who was June 8th, 2008 is currently 17, getting ready to have an 18th birthday, just for the record. Because it's 2026, so they would be currently 17.
Currently 18. Hey, how old are you? Well, 2 years ago, I was 16. Okay. All right, guys, we are looking for opposition, all right? Keep tapping and sharing. If you voted for Trump, if you disagree with the context of the background, hit the request button at the bottom.
Yeah, 5 years ago, I was 37 is great.
That'll be a good way to represent your age. So for anybody in here that doesn't like it, if you're getting older, you can just, Tammy, wow, thank you so much. You can just, if somebody you don't like that you're getting older, you can just say, well, 20 years ago, I was 45. Jesus. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about that much sexual stuff in a conversation before, like without just any reasoning as to why it's bad. Like sometimes we have guests that bring that stuff up, but at the very least, they have some sort of argument as to why they think it's bad. Now, it's not a good argument. This guy was just only feelings. Like, that was it the entire time.
Okay, but his feelings on whether there's a dick in your mouth, that was new. That was like, what? Sir, what? And I was like, oh gosh. And I could see that you were trying to like move the line of questioning when he kept referring to like asses.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
you adding a little bit of levity to the conversation, but like, buddy, what are we doing? What are we even doing?
Oh yeah, the consent part. That was crazy.
Yeah, we don't.
I totally forgot about that.
Why do we need to talk about consent? It's like, oh gosh, that sure is a take. I would say we should talk about consent all the time, but that's, just me.
It seemed like he viewed consent as something. Oh, you got some background noise there. It sounds like he viewed consent as something that like is assumed until said otherwise, which is wild. Like, because he said that with the pig. He's like, well, the pig can't say no. That's not consent. Larry, how you doing?
What's up, homie?
Not much. I just need to know your age, please. How old are you?
Say again. I'm sorry.
I just need to know your age for TikTok terms of service, please.
Oh, 55. Old man.
All right, cool. All right, you're good. No worries. All right, so what's up?
I was just reading your prompt, man. Why do you think MAGA hates the LGBTQIA plus?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I don't know you personally. I can't tell as to why, if you personally hate them or not. But I will say, if you voted for Trump, I don't know if you did, but this is for Trump support, so I assume so. If you voted for him, your vote is definitely going towards the harm and hate towards the community. What's up?
Not true, my friend. 100% not true. 100% not true, brother.
Well,
I'm
I understand
100% MAGA. It's not true.
Well, I understand you disagree. That's the point
I
of
have
the
a gay
debate.
kid,
So.
by the way. I have a gay kid, by the way, too. I ain't crazy about it, but I got a gay kid. So.
Well, hold on. You're not crazy about it. What does that mean?
No, I'm not crazy about it, but it's my kid, and I love my kid, and I take a bull as my kid, and yeah, I'm honest, bro.
Well, but now we got to dive into this because this is
You can dive
what's
into
going
it.
on. Yeah. So why do you have a problem with it?
She also serves in the military.
That's
Jack,
not answering my question, Larry. Why do you have a problem with your kid being gay?
Oh, I'm not exactly the most comfortable thing with it in the world, but it is what it is, dude, and it's my kid.
But don't you think
I'm more like a man and a woman kind of guy.
Cool. Don't you think that, hold on, you got a lot of background noise. Don't you think that gets projected onto your kid, your negative feelings towards it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm walking the dog, and I'm gonna get away from the street in a second over here.
Okay.
But no, a lot of calls. Let me walk over here. Sorry about that.
That's really, really, really loud, man. It's like really, really loud. Yeah, listen, kids are going to pick up on your feelings towards them. Absolutely. Okay. So, like, if a kid comes out to a parent and the parent is anything but incredibly accepting and incredibly okay with it, yeah, it's going to get projected onto the kid, and they're going to have some sort of negative feeling that like, hey, why does my dad not love it? That who I am.
Again, just like your prompt, not true, bro. You guys judge. Jack, come here. So you guys judge. I'm not 100% crazy about it, but I will support my kid in any choice that she makes. She's a girlfriend for a couple of years. She's in the military.
It's not necessarily. It's not about choice, though. It's not that we choose who we love. It's just a part of who we are.
Whatever. Call it whatever you want.
No. It's not calling it whatever we want. Larry, could you choose to love men, to date exclusively men?
You're going to laugh, but you want to hear something? If I could just get around that penis thing, my friend, I'd be married to a guy for probably 45 years right now.
If you could get around that whole penis thing. That's the whole part. If you could get around it.
I don't like it.
I will tell you, as somebody who is a queer person, I tried being married to a man. I tried it. It was not for me. Not a thing that I could do. As much as I tried to suppress who I was, because I was told that who I was wrong. What I realized was that there was no suppressing who I am, and it was not a choice.
Listen, that's fine. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you at all. That's fine.
But what I'm saying though is, when you talk about it sounds like your kid isn't making a choice either, that who your kid loves is who your kid loves. And I hope that you understand that whoever your kid loves, that's super important to them, and you being supportive and understanding that it's not a choice that's incredibly important.
Well, I'll tell you what, lady. I'm sorry you don't like the words.
Not a lady. Not a lady.
What are you? A dude? What are you?
No, I'm non-binary. I'm neither of.
I don't do that. Now that's what MAGA hates.
I'm not asking you to do a damn thing except not call me a lady or a man. That's all.
What would you like me to call you, bro?
Chris would be fine. That's my name.
I'll go with Chris then. That's fine, Chris.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That I can go with. That I can deal with.
Thank you.
So what did you say? You got me all messed up now, Chris. So yeah, because I use the word choice doesn't mean I don't back my daughter and her choices of who she chooses to have a partner.
Unless you're going to go choose to date men, please stop referring to it as a choice, because your daughter is hearing you use those words and it is harmful, sir. That's what I'm telling you. That is the reason that a lot of people who are not supportive of their kids end up, that sort of rhetoric causes people to go no contact with their parents.
Yep. I'll tell you what.
And you understanding that it is harmful rhetoric that could cause your kid at some point to choose to go no contact with you. I'm trying to give you this information in hopes that it will save you from a lifetime of heartache towards your kid who you likely love.
Now, just so you know, that might be the way that you feel, the same way you guys feel that all MAGA hates the whole whatever plus bullshit community thing.
You're doing it right now, Larry. You're doing it right now. Like your rhetoric right now.
No, I'm trying to get a point out. You're interrupting me. I waited for Chris to stop talking, but you guys are incorrect. Maybe Chris feels that way, and maybe people in her life feel that way. But I'll tell you something.
Their life.
So can
Listen,
you just
dude,
get?
listen, I can't help my fucking words, bro. It
Yes,
is
you
what
can.
they,
Oh,
them,
yes,
this,
Larry,
that.
Larry,
Whatever
Larry,
you
you
want to
can,
do.
Larry, you can help your words. Okay.
No, I can't.
Okay.
I'm trying to show you people why you people are wrong, and you might have
You
people
can't
in your
help your
life.
words, Larry. You can't choose your words. Is that what you're telling us? You're incapable of choosing your words.
That's not what I'm telling you. Hey, Jack, that's not what I'm telling you. No. So if you let me finish my thought, not what I'm telling you. Jack, come here. Fucking dog. Anyway, so take my daughter, for example. You guys think you know me, you know MAGA, that we hate whatever the hell it is and all this shit. I have a very good relationship with my daughter. Just because I'm not crazy that she's a lesbian, I'm not so crazy happy about it that she's a lesbian and I deal with it and it's my kid and I take a bullet for my kid. She tells me everything.
Can you tell us why you're not crazy about it, though? What
I
is it
would
you're not?
explain to you why I'm not crazy. I grew up in normal days, man, woman, this, that, the other thing. It's just very simple. You don't have to break the whole thing down.
This, that,
I know
and
you
the
guys
other
think
thing.
a different way.
But Larry, you can't like catch up with current times and learn to like be okay with things.
I'm okay with it. I'm very.
But
okay
you still
with
have
it.
a problem. But there's still a problem that you've described.
No, it's not a problem. I'm okay with it. It's my kid. It's my flesh and blood. It's my kid. You guys are making a problem out of the situation. I'm not. That's what I'm trying to explain to you right now.
Just the way you're talking about your kid and who she dates is harmful.
Yeah, but to you.
No, it's not about to me. It is harmful. It is harmful language.
We have a great relationship. You want to know? You want to go a little deeper with it? So my kid, when she, how about this? How about this? My daughter's girlfriend, who she's dating for a couple years now, lived together the whole 9 yards, right? Who is all into the whole woke.
I can't hear you guys for some reason, but keep talking.
Well, she's all into the woke, pride parade, trans, all that nonsense. The girlfriend, not my daughter. My daughter's a conservative, and she just likes girls, and it's as simple as that. Doesn't go to whole trans, the whole I want to be a guy, all that crazy nonsense.
Could you please stop with the calling people a crazy logic? Because I am one of those trans people that you hate, and I would really prefer if you didn't refer to us that way.
Okay, so now we can go into that if you want to interrupt my other point. So you have a
sure.
mental,
I would love to interrupt
illness.
all of your
You're
points.
Not gay. So you're not gay. You have a mental illness.
So here's the thing. Who I fuck and how I present are none of your business.
Never said
and you and the rest of MAGA seem to have a great big problem with me, which, considering the fact that I'm trans, we're less than 2% of the population. Okay, we are such an insignificant part of the population, and yet. And legislation that has been opposed against us is astra-fucking-nomical. If I were part of if I were part of the party of small government, I sure as shit wouldn't be wasting government hours, like hundreds upon hundreds of hours, on legislation for less than 2% of the population who just wants to fucking exist.
And go out there and commit all these heinous crimes and shoot people.
We are not out there committing heinous crime.
No,
that's white men.
The majority of shootings are done by trans people.
That is cisgender white men. Stop with your harmful lies. That is
whatever
incorrect.
You say, lady. Well, look it up. Whatever you say.
Not a lady.
So you're in. I'm sorry. I did it again. Oh my God.
There you did it again. If only you took a fucking moment and tried to say things that were a little less hateful.
Chris. So you just called yourself insignificant. Is what you did.
What I said was we are less than 2%. We are less than 2% of the population, and it would be fan-fucking-tastic if this administration wasn't spending so much time on legislation that was designed to be exclusionary, if not hateful, towards my community.
So I'll tell you what, Chris. You know what you are.
I have no problem.
You absolutely are being a dick, but sure. What else? What am I?
You can listen. I'm from New York. You can say whatever you want. I can't be insulted.
I will say whatever I want, regardless.
All right. Anyway, you know what you are, Chris? You are mentally. You are mentally.
If that were the case, that would be a conversation. My therapist, Larry, are you in therapy? Oh, I noticed you're on mute all of a sudden.
Chris, I didn't put myself on mute. I just took myself off mute. Somebody put me on mute. Yes, I am actually in therapy, but that's got nothing to do with nothing.
Good job. Good job on being in therapy. I am as unless you are in therapy. I would specifically like it if you would stay out of my mental health and I'll stay out of yours. Deal?